This is perfect as we get a huge Vancouver Canucks prospect update as one player has been dominating the OHL playoffs leading into this offseason where Patrik Allvin and Jim Rutherford have a full cupboard of draft picks to work with in this upcoming draft. We're going to break down the future of this prospect and the future of the Canucks with their draft picks later on this episode. Before we get into that, if you're enjoying this content and you want to stay up to date on the Vancouver Canucks, make sure to go and hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and we'll keep you up to date on everything to do this season, this off season, and next season. So you're not going to want to miss that. But let's get straight into the first topic today, where we do know the Vancouver Canucks in the 2024 draft didn't have a lot of top-end picks. The first pick was Melvin Fernstrom, who the Canucks did move out in the trade, sending him to the Pittsburgh Penguins to acquire Elias Pettersson and Drew O'Connor. But looking at this, we do see Anthony Romani, a 6th-round pick, playing with Northern Bay of the OHL, and he has been dominated in the OHL since going to the Barrie Colts. Now, looking at the OHL, we do see, coming from the OHL themselves, Canucks prospect Anthony Romani delivered a standout performance in Game 2, netting a hat-trick and sealing the win for the Barrie Colts with the game-winning goal late in the third period. Now, Anthony Romani might not be a name on a lot of people's lists. We have talked about him before, and if you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you've definitely heard us speak on him. But Romani has been dominant in this game for the Barrie Colts. 3 goals, 1 assist, including the game-winning goal. Sorry, it's 3 goals, 1 game-winning goal, 3 total points. Romani has been dominant with the Barrie Colts, and it just shows the future is so bright for the Vancouver Canucks. And listen, we know this season has not been going as expected. Right now, they are battling for a playoff spot with just below a 10% chance. But let's talk about the future. Let's have fun with what's coming. Now, looking at Romani, since joining the Barrie Colts, 30 points in 29 games. He has 5 goals in 2 games in the OHL playoffs. We did see him play with Northern Bay the seasons before, 6 games played as he was injured to start this season before going to Barrie. But going into his draft year, 58 goals, 53 assists for 111 points. We've seen him put up 4 points in 3 playoff games for Northern Bay. He has been dominant and looking like a steal in the 6th round. And listen, I'm not going to say Anthony Romani is going to join this Canucks team at the end of the season or into next season and be a dominant force. He's going to take time to grow. 6'1", 190 pounds, but he's looking like a perfect piece for the future, and we know the Canucks know how to get late round steals or just pick up players that have developed pretty well. I mean, looking at Shelovs was a late round pick, saved the Canucks in the playoffs last year. Yes, he still needs development, but with all these prospects, most do. Now, looking at Romani, sorry for clicking on every screenshot but the right one, we do see going into his draft year from elite prospects, it says most of Romani's offense comes off the rush. He's an ice-stretching playmaker, hitting teammates with long bombs across ice passes. This season, he carried the puck more, creating offense, wearing his rushes, and give and goes. Either way, he's consistently shifting the defense around with its east-west movement, creating space for him or his line mates to slip away from the defense. Now you can see the biggest thing with Romani and coming from elite prospects is talking about his passing. But I mean, if you go back to the point that he has 5 goals in 2 games and came off just last season, 58 goals, 111 points. This kid has a lot of room to grow, and I would not be surprised if he joined the Abbotsford Canucks next season to continue his development. This is still a 19-year-old born in July 12th. I feel quite old looking at this. Someone that can build with the team, but looking at the Canucks' future, yes, they don't have any extra draft picks going into this draft, but we're actually going to see, unless they traded, the Vancouver Canucks drafting in the 1st round again. Looking at the draft picks going into 2025, a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, I'm not going to keep counting, all the way to the 7th round pick. Yes, they don't have a 3rd in the next draft or a 7th, but looking at this, the Canucks didn't go out and sell a bunch of draft capital to acquire players like we've seen last season with Zadorov and Lindholm. The Canucks kept their cupboard full going into this draft, and listen, for all the nerds that like this, like I do, this is the draft picks for the Vancouver Canucks, the 1st and the 2nd. They own San Jose's 3rd round pick from the New York Rangers, a part of the Carson Soucy trade. They have the 4th round pick from the Edmonton Oilers, going all the way back to the Podkolzin trade, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th. Just in case you wanted to have a look at this and follow it throughout the draft or the rest of the season on where the Vancouver Canucks will be picking. But the Canucks have had a decent track record of getting guys that look like they'll at least develop into something, maybe a bottom six or middle six forward. Romani could turn into a bottom six scoring winger for the Vancouver Canucks in the seasons to come, but it doesn't really stop there, as we see a Barrie Colts line mate, or a teammate I should say, of Romani, and that is Riley Patterson. Riley Patterson is also a Vancouver Canucks draft pick. If we go back to the first screenshot, drafted just 2 rounds before Romani in the 2024 draft, Riley Patterson is having a quite good season as well, and not a lot of people are speaking on it. Coming off last year in 62 points in 68 games, the Vancouver Canucks drafted him in the 4th round, 125th overall. Coming into this year, 25 goals, 34 assists for 59 points, only 1 assist across 2 games, but Riley Patterson is just another player to watch as the Barrie Colts continue to go deep into the playoffs, or if they continue to go deep, they could be knocked out by the time you're watching this. But the Canucks prospects are currently in action in the OHL, and just going into Riley Patterson on his own, we can get a breakdown on his draft grade as well. Patterson uses blazing crossovers and smooth puck handling to attack the inside and catch the defender off guard. Sometimes he dangles through opponents before ripping a quick release wrister. So more of a goal scorer compared to Romani's playmaking. Both of them can do both, but having these guys develop through the Canucks system is quite awesome. Listen, we're not even touching on a lot of prospects in this video. We know the Vancouver Canucks have a lot of prospects. From this draft alone, we do have a couple guys still playing in the OHL or in the Q or somewhere in North America. At the very moment, Fernstrom was traded playing with Auburn HK. I was actually quite sad about this because I thought Fernstrom was an awesome prospect. The same team that Jonathan Leckernacki actually played on as well. So seeing another guy come through there would have been great, but listen, he's gone. We have Marcus Pettersson, and the rest is history. But this list here is not even really breaking down the full extent of what the Canucks have. Jonathan Leckernacki, who I just spoke about, is a Canucks prospect that we know is developing through the team right now. Does he deserve ice time? Yes. Is he getting enough? Probably not. But looking at guys like Tom Willander is another big guy. The Abbotsford Canucks are actually just 1 win away from winning 10 straight, which is a franchise record, almost clinching an AHL playoff spurt over going into the playoffs. Sorry, I'm in a blender right now trying to think of all the prospects on this team. But listen, if you enjoy this, go down and leave a comment on your favorite Canucks prospect or just favorite Canucks young guy. Maybe it's a guy like Linus Karlsson currently on the team, or Aatu Räty, or Jonathan Leckernacki. Maybe it's someone I didn't even talk about. Ty Young's been looking great in Abbotsford throughout this season as well. There's so many prospects. There's so much to talk about. If you want to stay updated on not only prospects, but the current Canucks and trades, make sure to go down, hit that subscribe button. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friend. I'm ready to go to bed, so hopefully you enjoy this. If you want to go down and just comment pie or something like that for my last name, then I'll know that you made it this far. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I've been your host, Mark Pie, and take care.